With our video with Melissa the other day. Okay, there we go, we're good.
Oh, it's good? Okay. Okay, good morning everybody again. My name is Angie. I own Angie Davis in Conway. We are a lingerie store and a boudoir studio. We sell bras from A to O. We sell lingerie from small to 6X. We are very body positive. We are all women oriented and we want women to feel beautiful. And what I want to talk about today is why I came up with Angie Davis and why we are what we are and why I am so passionate about helping women. And it started basically in 2006. I had a really great job, really great career, but I loved taking photos. And my husband was deploying to Iraq for 16 months. And research I had done about, staying in touch with him and keeping him connected to our family was to send lots of photos. And we didn't really have text back then. It had just started. It was very expensive. We couldn't text Iraq. So they told us to print the photos and send them to him. So every week I would send him 1 to 2 care packages a week. And one of those would be full of photos of the kids and me and whatever we had going on, so that he felt like he was still part of what was going on at home, even though he was at war. So he got home, and he was like, you're pretty good at this photo thing. And I was like, oh, you're so cute, honey, thank you. He's like, no, really? So he bought me this really nice camera. It wasn't a professional camera by any stretch of the imagination, but it was the best gift he's ever given me, let me tell you. I loved that camera, and it took me about 6 to 8 months, and I outgrew that camera. So he thought, well, I'll just get her a better camera. So he got me a better camera. It took me about 6 to 8 months, and I grew out of that camera. So the next camera he bought me was an actual camera, and he's like, babe, here's a professional camera. I believe in you. I think you need to do this photography for money. And I was like, that's silly, but okay. So I did. And it took about another year. I outgrew that camera, and so he said, you know what? I really believe in you. It was a Monday morning. He brought me my coffee because he does that every morning because he's amazing. But he brought me my coffee, and he said, and this is after he bought me a really, this is an $8,000 camera we're talking about. He bought that camera for me, but he came to me on a Monday morning, woke me up, and he said, honey, I believe in you and I love you. I want you to go quit your 6-figure job and do this photography thing full time. And I'm like, have you lost your mind? Are you crazy? But I said, okay, I'll do it because you believe in me. So I did. I went in on Monday morning, and y'all, we had 2 mortgages, we had 3 kids, just a little bit of savings, and a week later, I was crying because I was like, what have I done? I don't recommend doing that at all. I think I really want to call that my first failure. Even though it worked out, it was really my first failure because I should have not done that so quickly. But anyway, so I got to work. And within the first year, we actually did make money with the photography. I did whatever photography I could do. I freelanced for newspapers. Anybody that would take my, give me money, I was like, yeah, I'll take photos. Freelanced for newspapers, nationwide newspapers. I did get to travel and got into just all kinds of fun stuff. I won't go into all of that. But so I started growing my name, Angie Davis Photography, and I decided I wasn't going to freelance anymore, and I was just going to do weddings, seniors, and boudoir. And that scared my husband. He was like, but you do all of this stuff, and it's what makes the business money and how we eat, And I was like, well, that's okay, I think we'll do better if I just concentrate on these 3 little things that I love to do. I think we'll do better. Well, we did. So within a year, I was able to actually open a real studio and get out of my house with my photography. So we opened the studio, and we were doing really well, and I hired my first employee, and that was great. And then tragedy struck. My youngest son, or our youngest son, was tragically killed in a car accident the day before his 17th birthday. And you want to talk about rock your world and change your life. And me, I changed physically, mentally, emotionally, spiritually. Everything changed. And I didn't think that I was actually even going to be able to pick up a camera again because I hurt so bad. I felt like my life was over. I felt like my career was over. I felt like just everything was over, and I couldn't figure out why the sun even kept coming up or why I would see this beautiful sunset because my son was gone. So I knew I had to find some joy, and I knew that was going to be hard. So that was my quest, to find some joy and put some healing back into my heart. So I decided just to do boudoir photography. And you're thinking, why? I mean, how does that correlate to pain? It's because I felt so bad and so hurt. But whenever I had a client come in and we did boudoir, and I could see pain in her because of how she felt. You know, she didn't feel good about her body, or maybe somebody said something mean to her and that lasted with her, or she had just had a baby and she's got this new mom body. And to do a session with her and see the joy in her and see her eyes light up when she saw her images, or cry on my couch because she's looking at herself in a way she's never seen herself. Every time that happened, that put a little bit of joy back in my heart. And so I decided boudoir photography only. So, and not to mention the fact I did seniors and weddings. How was I supposed to photograph high school seniors when I was never going to be able to take my son's senior photos? How was I going to photograph a wedding when I was never going to photograph his wedding? So we did boudoir. Well, within about 4 months, I started figuring out ladies didn't have good lingerie when they were coming to have their sessions. And I started asking, okay, you're investing a good amount of money into doing boudoir sessions with us. Why do you have one piece of lingerie with you that doesn't fit you good? Well, I ordered this online. It didn't fit real great, but I brought it anyway. And there's really nothing around here that really has good lingerie, or I couldn't find anything to fit me, or Victoria's Secret doesn't have my size, or whatever the issue was. So I started thinking, well, I'm a business. I can order lingerie. So I started ordering lingerie, and I had it in our studio. And ladies would buy it for their sessions. Well, then word got around, and their friends would be like, you know, I don't really want to do a boudoir session right now, but can I come shop your lingerie? Well, sure, you know, come on, come shop with us. You know, we're in a photography studio, and it's kind of weird. And I'm just like, we need to do more. You know, we need to make a store so women can come in and buy lingerie, because they're right. There is no place around here for them to buy lingerie, especially plus size lingerie. That's even hard. It's hard for me to even find vendors that make it. So whenever I find one, I'm like, yes, this is awesome. So we didn't have a whole lot of money because we were just making a decent living. And I thought, well, we need to expand, and we can't do this in this little 1,500 square foot studio. So still hurting from losing my son, I kind of wanted to just sell everything and move, just run away. And looking back, I know that wasn't the answer, but at the time, that's what I wanted to do. So we looked at moving the business to Tampa, Florida. So my husband and I went to Tampa, Florida. I found 8 or 9 different places that I loved because I had a vision. Every single one we went to, oh, we signed a contract on that this morning. Oh, somebody leased that yesterday. Wasn't in God's plan. So I came home, and I was sad. I was upset because I was like, this is what I want to do, you know? But God knew better. So I kind of pouted for a little while, and a couple of months later, I thought, you know what? We'll just keep doing it the way we're doing it. I'll find a bigger place. Maybe I can find a cool warehouse. Wouldn't that be cool for boudoir photos, a warehouse? So I started looking at warehouses in Conway, and I found this one place. It was really cheap. It's $1,000 a month, 5,000 square feet. I was like, holy crap, this place must be terrible, but I'm going to go look at it. So I called him up, and I said, hey, I want to look at this place here on Front Street. And he says, well, I got a little bit of bad news for you. The rent's going to triple, or actually more than triple, because we're going to put heat and air in it. And I was like, well, I guess we'll do some heat and air, but I can't afford, you know, the rent to triple. Oh my gosh, that's crazy. But I want to look at it anyway. So I get there, and I'm walking through this place. There is literally dirt this thick on the floor, and I'm in flip-flops, and it's disgusting. And it's been a storage unit, or a storage building for like 60 years, y'all. And I'm walking through it going, I love it. I'll take it. Give it to me, you know. And then after I left, I was like, crap, I can't afford this rent. What am I thinking? But I'm like, I'm going to do it. I'm just going to do it. Kind of like quitting my job, you know. I don't know what we're going to do for money, but hey, I don't know how we're going to pay this rent, but hey, we're going to do it. So then we got to clean it up. We got to do a build out. We need more money. I don't have that money either. So by the grace of God, we were able to scrap together money, pay for a build out, which I didn't get the build out that I wanted because I was like, I want these walls and these rooms and this. And they're like, okay, well, here's the estimate. And I'm like, well, I don't want these walls and those walls. We're just going to do these few walls, you know. So we paid for the build out, and we've been there officially 13 months now. Somehow we've managed to pay the rent, so that's good. That all worked out. But we got in there, and I thought, you know, I have enough lingerie. I have everything I need. No big deal. We get in there, we lay everything out, and it's empty, y'all. I've got a lot of lingerie, and this place is empty. It's a 2,000 square foot store. So I was like, oh my gosh, how am I going to get the money for more stuff? And we have more employees now too. So, you know, I'm trying to figure out how to pay to have the store so that you ladies will come in and buy stuff so that I can pay for that. So by the grace of God, again, I was able to do it. And we have a full store now. So then 2 months into this lingerie store, and women are like, hey, do you have bras? And I'm like, well, we've got a bra over here, you know, these little 34Bs and stuff like that. And because I didn't know anything about bras, you know. I don't know nothing about bras, y'all. So they're like, no, like bigger bras. And I'm like, oh, they make bigger bras? Oh, okay. So I start researching and looking, and I find bras up to H, so I bring those in. And they're like, no. Do you have bras? I'm like, they make bigger bras? Really? So then I really get serious, and I start researching these bras, and I start researching these problems that women have with bras. And I find companies that have bras up to O, and I bring them in. So I went to a place I can't afford, buying lingerie I can't afford, doing a build out I can't afford, to bringing in more lingerie that I can't afford, to now bringing in bras we can't afford, but somehow God made it work. And I tell you, it was Him. Every step of the way was in God's plan. And He made this happen. And then, when we opened, I think we did $5,000 in January.
Ooh, is that good?
No. Rent's $3,200, sister. So just the fact that we made it even just through that first January, I mean, how does that happen? It was God. So with everything that I have done, every single step has been because I love women. I love helping women. And I love whenever we put a bra on a woman, or we do a boudoir session, and you see her eyes light up, or she's just in love with, you know, we've solved a problem for her. We have made her feel better. She is going to go and rock her day. That means everything to me. And over the past year of struggling to get this place going and to get customers into the store, it has filled my heart with joy. I haven't had a paycheck in I don't know how long, but my paycheck has been right here. And of course, it kind of bothers my husband because he pays all the bills, but I'm getting my paycheck right here. So if I keep healing from the loss of my son through this store, then I'm okay with that. So I hope y'all all come buy some panties and bras today. I would appreciate that. Thank you, ladies. I hope you have a great day. You're all beautiful, and every single one of you, and I appreciate you all so much. And go out and rock your day.
Thank you.